when we last left our heroes, we had determined that the school had ended and we were going to trundle off to has-beens and uh, look for Lucius. And at the meta level, we were going to acknowledge the fact that Lucius was going to conveniently not be there at the beginning so that you guys could all sit around in the back room and get caught up on stuff and do things. Is that pretty well sum things up? Did I
Yeah.
miss anything? Okay. In that case, we will cut right to that with you guys having come in through the coffee shop and Jay Shiki, what's her name? The daughter, Lucius's daughter?
JC.
JC.
JC?
Jay Shiki. That's an oyster bar in London. It's not what I was thinking of. She, without too much, without giving you too hard of a time, sets you guys up in the back, takes your orders, and sort of makes herself scarce. Lucius is not around. He had some stuff going on. She doesn't really seem to be perfectly willing to talk about that. Who has actually had any kind of interaction with JC? Charlotte a little bit, and kind of Harry? The one time you guys came over and had a meeting with
It's
Lucius?
alternate world, Jason.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that
not
was
yet.
the,
Alternate world doesn't count.
that
Which-
was the session where I fell asleep. So
Yeah.
So don't count on him for any insights into Jason's character.
And there is that weird sense of kind of like you don't know them that well, but you've had a couple of really, really intensely detailed dreams featuring them. So you feel like you really know them, and they're looking at you like, "Why do you keep staring at me, freak?" Summer, this is a coffee shop. What do you order?
I am going to get the whatever has the most flavor, because how hot it is does matter. The caffeine doesn't matter, but the taste is always important. So I will get the. It's not pumpkin spice season, so I can't do that. Whatever's the most elaborate thing on the menu.
Like a caramel macchiato, maybe, or is that
Yeah, like the 800 calorie
something
cup
just
of coffee.
something that's like the same calorie intake as a Big Mac?
Whipped cream and sprinkles.
Kaylee is gesturing like, "Get one for me too." I ask because you're kind of it's one of those things where it's like you find yourself in that weird kind of surreal situation where you're living and breathing an environment, and then you find yourself in a similar but very different environment. That's definitely not it, and kind of like all the inside baseball stuff, but you don't know what the secret signs are to say I am also a coffee worker. So you
I'm the spy for the right organization. JC's plotting my death. She's like, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not like a chain. Blitzkrieg is, and they're not exactly like because this is Has-Beens is the Pop's barber shop of coffee shops.
Are you saying that we're like 20 years or 30 years too young?
I'm saying 30 might be kind.
He's saying there's a reason we would put in the back room.
50, 55 years too young, 50 to 55, 45 to 55, somewhere in that range. Except for Charlotte, it's 200 years too old. But yeah, somewhere in that. But it not as much the clientele as much as it is the neighbor. It's definitely, even though it's downtown, it's kind of like the neighborhood coffee shop. And Blitzkrieg isn't as much it's a coffee shop really, but it's also like it makes its It makes its it's got it's
It makes its own blintzes.
well, the bakery bit part of it is one of those like you have a hand done marker, slightly curling at the edges paper thing, taped up to the glass display case at the front that says all pastries are first come, first served. And they sell out before about 10. So people come in all the time for that kind of stuff. So they kind of, they're coffee and other stuff. So they're not like, although they still, hate chain stores, Deja Brew, places like that. I mean, that's just mandatory. What about Charlotte? What does Charlotte order in a place like this? Or what is her go-to coffee drink? You can all start thinking about this because I'm going to ask.
Dirty chai.
I knew it. One of my coworkers introduced me to dirty chai, and I just had a thought. Anyway. Dave, I'm sorry. Alicia.
Well, keeping with the theme from last week, now that she's gotten a taste for, or a reminder about
something with dark chocolate. Yeah.
A triple espresso, and she'll take that little container of sugar packets. Thank you. With the turbinado sugar.
Oh God.
Packets.
Very nice. Oh God. Adam? Harry. I just said saying Harry has water. Like that would be just hilarious because Adam.
I'm trying to cut down.
As not a coffee drinker myself, I don't know.
Well, they do tea.
Adam has hot chocolate.
Yes.
Peppermint hot chocolate.
Some. Yeah.
Pumpkin spice hot chocolate.
No.
It's like March.
Yeah, it's March. It's not the right season for pumpkin spice. They're back. Pumpkin spice eye exams. Anyway. I don't know if you guys saw that sign. Anyway. Big O has a sign up right now. It says like pumpkin spice tires now back in stock. Anyway. Anyway. And Harry, more seriously than water.
I was actually kind of thinking along the same lines where probably don't want to have the speedster
Caffeinated?
inhale a bunch of caffeine. So I was going for a spiced apple cider.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. All right. So you're sitting around the back. It's like a big round. I've got actually the actual table that I'm thinking of downstairs in the storage room, but it's like a big round fold out. Like it's a, basic metal legs kind of fold out thing. And some, just a weird mishmash of, slightly too scarred, repainted 6 times, but the paint's flaking through chairs, and a couple of folding ones, and probably a plastic like patio chair that's got pulled in from outside, just doing double duty, that kind of thing. That's kind of where you guys are sitting. That's not the image I'm using. I'm using, this because you can't help in the back of your mind sitting at a round table in the back of Lucius's store thinking about the round table. So I will kind of step slightly back out of the way here as you guys are kind of, I guys are backing up just a little bit. So Charlotte was headed towards Lucius's, possibly Adam's ears picked up, but who was pushing, like, subtly or not so subtly, like, yeah, we should all go, and if we get a second, we should all kind of like catch up and compare notes or whatever it was that was I want to hear what was sort of pitched as the reason for it too, but where was that impetus coming?
So Alicia and Summer had a conversation where one of Alicia's concerns was we aren't acting as a team, or we haven't had a team meeting, or we have people who may or may not be leaving the team or have pressure on them to leave the team. On the strength of that, if Alicia didn't bring it up, Summer would have, so that Alicia feels better.
So Alicia, would you have stepped up into that to say like, hey, everyone should come, we should all come, let's have some coffee together kind of thing? Because that sounds like possibly the most awkward social pitch that I would have ever heard in my life. Or did you struggle with that long enough for Summer to step in?
I struggle with it long enough for Summer to step in. Summer makes the suggestion. Alicia kind of glares at her for a moment and then says, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We've got stuff we should probably talk about."
Okay. And Lucius isn't there when you get there, which kind of obviously works out. So you guys end up sort of situated around the back there. Who's the first to speak, and what do you say? Who do you talk to? Or, I mean, the most probably foremost thing, the most recent event kind of to comment on, I guess, would be Harry's big press thing. Big, I don't know about big, but Harry's sort of unprecedented walk up to the press and make a statement kind of thing. But
so Harry, gutsy move there with the press. That actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to.
Thanks.
Interesting backhanded compliment there, actually.
Alicia only knows how to give backhanded compliments.
She smirks. No. No, I mean it. I think kind of upfront and in their face and honest and but not taking any shit. So good job.
Thanks. And thanks again for your help the other day. Yesterday?
Yeah, just yesterday.
Dang.
Was it I like that. Was it yesterday?
Fun fact, it's still Monday.
Yeah, it was well, it was it was the least I could do and the most I could do. So, hey, I'm glad things worked out subapocalyptically.
I thought it was good too, and you really showed a lot of leadership in stepping up there and talking to those people. The largest wink ever is now directed at Alicia. It's like, gotcha.
Yeah, she's gonna give Summer a calm look and then turn back to Harry. She's gonna go into poker face mode for a while.
So Alicia's sitting back. Summer's sitting back. Or no, Summer's not sitting back. What's going on?
Well, I mean, it's not just that. It's that we are kind of at a crossroads, and it sounds like there's maybe people pulling different members of this team in different directions, and maybe it's a good idea to talk about that.
So who's in charge? Alicia says.
1, 2, 3 nose goes.
Not it.
You're muted, Mom.
Hear me?
We
We
heard
can
the last
now,
one,
yeah.
sir. Yes.
Just had the mic moved away.
She said no one could see her, so
Oh, Charlotte just sort of faded
Charlotte
out.
just fades into the background.
Ooh. Somebody hit Charlotte's dimmer switch, guys. Somebody hit.
Of everybody backing up a step when the volunteers are being asked for.
Right. Someone step forward. Everyone else steps back.
Well, so I want to talk about this a little bit because I haven't been part of the team for long, but I've been with the team for a long time. And Sometimes it seems like you all do better when you do have a leader, and other times it seems like you do better when you don't. And so I just want to ask, is this question something that we all feel that needs to be answered? Do we need a leader?
Personally, it's less about having a leader and more about common goals and being a team. The way I see it, we've been kind of wrapped up in ourselves lately. That harder when we need to pull together on something.
Do you have any ideas what would help with that, or still thinking about it?
Stuff like this, hanging together helps, but I also think that, when we're not dealing with a crisis, the question is, what is it that as a group we're trying to accomplish? Own projects with dealing with the holes and stuff, but me that we have a lot of smart people here and we have a lot of the community. So when we're not running around trying to take care of bad guys, what is that?
So are you suggesting we should be more of a social welfare organization when we're not called out to fight strange demonic graveyard faces and things like that?
No, I'm saying that there's a lot of things we can do. Put your mind to something, you can do a lot. I know that mind.
Now, Dave, I got a question.
What should we be doing?
Or rather, Alicia, I have a question for you. Something that's maybe poking at the back of your mind. With the stuff that you guys have going on, I mean, it's sort of disparate, but is it? What are the connections there, or who, if you look at the various threads of things that the team's dealt with in the past, or enemies that you've made, what's the unifying thing there that may be, if not your raison d'etre, the thing that you're going, as a group, you're going to have to deal with, that's likely to come back and bite you? Jason Quill.
So, I mean,
Jason Quill.
Get Jason.
I'm not saying that there's an answer right away. I'm saying this might be something that
No, that's a good point. And actually, Alicia can bring that up. So, I guess maybe one question is beyond the actual bouts of combat and direct opposition. Are there patterns? Are there connecting characters or individuals that we should be trying to address when we're not otherwise distracted? You mentioned the wounds in the world, Charlotte. Dr. Infinity has popped up more than once. There's some kind of space cosmic stuff going on that has happened.
Well, and some of the stuff, and I mention this because it bears some reminding at a meta level, just because it's been a while since these reveals, but stuff Dr. Infinity was involved with seemed to be weakening the barriers between the worlds. The wounds might have been their doing to some cause, to some purpose, for holding the boat that Halcyon sits in, and that also there was I feel like Alicia did a Pierce the Mask or something, but there was or Pierce the Mask or an analyze the situation or something. But there was something along the lines of there was some comment that they had made that was along the lines of them having engineered some of either the Viortovians' actions or the Hidden Families' actions, all towards that.
Wasn't the goal to collapse the worlds together?
Yeah.
So I mean that was sort of
that was Dr. Infinity's big thing with what was going on in the alt future Sepia-verse.
So whether they were actually personally rooting for the Hidden Family or whatever, they were like, these little termites, I'm not necessarily on the side of the termites, but I want the house to come down, so I'm going to feed and also, broadly distribute these termites and bend things a bit in their favor. And, you guys are annoying because you actually sprayed the termites. And now you're very annoyingly rebuilding the porch that was almost about to come down.
So we've got the Hidden Families, we've got the Viortovians, we've got cross-dimensional shenanigans, we've got Dr. Infinity. I mean, as far as that goes,
and those
even if
things all kind of touch one another at weird angles.
Yeah. As far as that goes, nothing has yet come of, the Viortovians' demands that they will only talk with this group. Even if the person who prompted that is no longer directly with us, but there's a lot of threads left over there that maybe we should be addressing more directly.
To be fair, that was 6 weeks ago. So, I mean, it has been some time, but it hasn't been. And
Right.
you were gone for 1/3 of those 6 weeks. So,
Sure.
For sure, there's definitely some stuff.
But it's still probably showing up in the news cycle or still being commented on by people.
Yeah.
And even if for whatever reason nobody has, nobody from the State Department has actually come and visited us even
Right.
covertly, as far as I know.
And the Dread Queen doesn't strike anyone as someone who's being used as a pawn of somebody else. So that may or may not have been like, I'm just going to kind of stay out, Dr. Infinity just kind of been, I'm going to stay out of the way of them, and they're going to do as much damage as they're going to do anyway. Hidden Family's ancillary, but different situation there. They're the termites. Dread Queen is more of a bulldozer with nobody driving, in terms of the destructive capability there. If you're Dr. Infinity and you want a lot of damage done.
So is that something that we should be addressing more directly instead of waiting for cosmic events to pop up and either distract or tackle us? Adam, you've been pretty quiet.
No, these are things. These are important things.
All right. Well, thank you for that contribution. Harry, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say Harry's been quiet too.
These are definitely important things.
Oh my god. Who put laudanum in the coffee?
It's not the coffee.
Right. Remember, he's not
We're the
taking
only-
any of the ones with caffeine.
We're the only ones without coffee.
That's it.
Alicia's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What's the plan here? What's the Alicia? Put the triple espresso down. And
Try some of this spiced apple cider.
And quit tapping.
It's tasty.
And quit tapping the sugar packets directly into your eyeballs.
So, Harry, we know you in particular have had a lot of people, I'm sure, wondering what you're going to do. And I think we want to know what you plan to do as well. But what can we do to help you as well with that?
Uh, I nothing you guys aren't already doing.
Man, people are being very
Well-
evasive.
I think that there's several things that are important to me on this. So one is finishing the work on the wounds, and I mean that's one of the reasons why I came here to talk to the Grail Knights. But I also think on my high on my to-do list is to pin down that Magus Averard and give him a piece of my mind and find out what he knows about all of this. Because he knows a lot more than what he's saying. That's for sure.
Well, I agree that the wounds are important, and I also want to say that with Rook Industries trying to have exploited those, I personally have an interest in seeing that stopped as well. So it's not just you; it's never just you.
Summer, there's been a bit of news about Rook that since I mean, it kind of started when about the same time that everybody was gone for a couple of weeks, and things have been busy enough that they may not have heard about this. But it's a bit of good news with regards to Rook that there's a good chance nobody else really knows. I'm going to put you a bit on the spot and ask you what that is. What's been going on with Rook that has brought a bit of that has brought a smile to your face? Certainly not completely down and out kind of a thing, but and you don't need to, if you need a minute, let me know. But I'm throwing that out there for you.
I would like to say, from a personal perspective, that somebody at the state or federal government level has said, hey, you can do your security robot thing again, but we want oversight.
So there are currently Security Council hearings going on with Rook about this. So there's two pieces of news. There's the and this the one you mentioned is more of a leak because it isn't the kind of thing they would have necessarily announced, or they didn't specifically say it about Rook. Anybody who's going to be doing any military contract work is going to have, they're establishing guidelines for much closer oversight for those projects. And it's very clearly pointed at Rook, and all the talking heads and pundits and stuff are saying it's very clearly pointed at Rook. It's not necessarily pointed at Rook. The origination of the bill before it got renamed, the acronym for the four words that was, the four words that were sort of the name of the bill spelled out Rook. It's been renamed since then, but everyone knows what it's for, even though really it also applies to a bunch of other people, which also has them grousing as well. Boeing's taking on a chin, all that kind of stuff. So that's going on, but in addition to that, they've also got there's an actual hearing about what happened about 6 weeks ago. It doesn't hit the news cycles very often because usually it's pretty boring, but occasionally you get a banner, and it was actually while everyone was gone a couple weeks ago when Rosa Rook actually had to show up and speak, and that was a lot of angry wordless glares going across the chamber on C-SPAN, that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're definitely reined in pretty tightly right now. Wait a second. I gotta see. Of course. Jason being asked to testify. So Harry, a lot of people kind of looking at you like not subtly or not so subtly, kind of asking you, what's up, what's the plan there, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you thinking?
Sorry, I missed the first of that. Who are you asking?
That was for Harry.
I'm not planning on joining the HHL. At least not right away.
To say that I'm happy to have you with us, dear.
The first few words are cutting off of whatever you're saying.
I think she said she just wanted to say she's happy to have you
Yeah.
with us.
I gather just wanted to let her know.
Yeah.
That delay thing going on again?
Yeah. It is what
Start
it is.
everything you say with tick tick tick. Okay.
Allora.
Well, we are happy to have you for however long we have you.
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds dire.
Especially when Alicia agrees with it.
Yeah. So actually, Summer and Alicia have been remarkably like on message together throughout this.
Do you expect me to comment?
No, I'm just kind of throwing that out there as a general observation to anybody who feels like they might have noticed. Adam, what's going on in Adam's head? We don't need this necessarily broadcast to everybody else, but he seems a little, or is everything in a rosy glow right now?
You know, like for him, like the biggest thing, he probably like, you know, kind of like perked up when it was like, Harry said that he wasn't joining the HHL. It's like, good, like we're staying together.
Everything is cool. Everything is
Everything's
awesome. Everything's great. Everything's going exactly to plan. What plan? Never mind. Don't worry about the plan. Nobody say anything about a plan.
Actually, and Joyce, you could veto this, but
Uh-huh.
the concept of uncertainty is going to come back to Summer. She's going to ask Adam a question. Are you a concordance agent?
Ooh.
Everybody clutches their head.
Me.
Except for Charlotte.
Except for Charlotte, who's like, a what?
Like
What?
if my coffee starts boiling or something, I understand, but you know.
Yeah, it's that sort of like, you know, as soon as the question gets asked, it's like the cut over to Adam where it's just like little flickers of like a Keenum flame off of his shoulders. Like, what? Why would you ask that?
Oh, man, I kind of want to make you take a powerful blow, just for being confirmed. Actually, no, I feel like there would have to be some dice there to kind of provoke. Ooh.
Not dice, but a coin. Summer will pull it out and say, "We flipped for this," and some things happened.
See, I feel like now I know you pulled out a coin, and that's awesome. But I feel like maybe, let me know what you think. But I feel like that might be a provoke to get to like sort of force him to face the question.
I'll go for that.
Yeah. Then let's see what that looks like. Provoke. Ooh.
Well, fortunately, people have been jacking my superior through the roof, and I have influence.
And you have influence. Look at that.
Ooh.
Is your superior a 3?
Yes.
My.
From the first session I was in here, people were telling me, "Hey, you should lie some more."
You're not lying enough. Get good at lying. A full hit. All right, let's look at this. I'm going to save this thing for a second then, because I was about to drop a thing on Adam, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Although, I like where that's going. Basic moves. Provoke. When you provoke someone susceptible to your words, say what you're trying to get them to do. Roll superior. PCs on a 10 plus both. If they do it, and I guess the do it would be answer the question, Claire. Add team to the pool. I love that movie. Super problematic, but I love that movie. If they do it, add team to the pool. If they don't do it, mark a condition. So I guess the thing is, face the question honestly, and if you're going the same route that you were going, Adam, which seems like you were.
So, hey, Bill. So, what are you trying to get Adam to do here?
Yeah, I want to hear the actual sort of phrasing of it.
What Summer wants to do is to have Adam confront the question that confronted the rest of us when we were trying to go find him, which is this the case, and why? And secondarily, I guess, why are we so uncertain about a question like this?
Okay. So Adam's just gonna be like, it's gonna be like that, like awkward, like shifting, like he's leaning on one arm, then he's like leaning on another arm. It's like, well, so no, I mean,
those other three kids. I mean, those guys. Why would you?
No, it's like no, it's like no, like of course not. Like why would not anymore? And it's no.
Not anymore?
Not anymore.
So
like it's not that big a deal.
So is that answering the question? I guess it kind of is.
Does he look as awkward about it as we did?
Yes.
Different kind of awkward.
Yeah, different kind of awkward. Like I don't want to get into it, but it's embarrassing. But it's all fine.
Yeah.
But not even embarrassing. It isn't quite the right word. I don't know. Did you describe
Bill, has Summer ever seen Adam evasive before?
I'm trying to remember, and I don't think so.
Unable to.
Yeah. So this is a bad look for Adam right now.
Unable to express himself. Yes. Evasive?
Is this something that you'll talk to me about later, or?
Well, me as the player is like wondering if anyone else is leaning in on this.
I'm certainly watching intently with my hands underneath the table.
Okay.
I just want to see if we're getting like the glaring look of like the group upon him.
Not me.
Charlotte's just looking confused.
Alicia probably looks pretty tense.
Harry is studiously sipping his apple cider.
Like non-judgmentally.
I mean, Harry doesn't have much room to judge after the past few days.
Well, Summer should not be putting off any sort of judgmental vibes. If anything, she's kind of letting him off the hook a little bit, but she does want him to kind of confront this. So she'll not lean in too far, but she'll lean in a little bit.
Okay, then it'll just kind of be like that, like Alicia. Then it'll just be like I don't think this is a big deal. I mean, like it's why would you flip a coin? Like that seems like such a weird thing to do. And Alicia, could you just stop looking at me?
If I stop looking at you, do you disappear, or is this one of those Schrodinger's cat things? Or is my gaze just making you uncomfortable?
Yes, very uncomfortable.
Summer would have put a hand on Alicia's shoulder, just kind of shake her head, just real subtle, like be like, not helping. Just.
Alicia will roll her eyes and thereby break her gaze on Adam.
So Adam, the reason that we flipped was because when the question came up, Alicia noticed that there was some discomfort in actually answering the question. And so we've seen this before where these sort of extra real phenomena are in play, where probabilistic events will yield anomalous results. And so that's why we flipped a coin. And the coin did strange things, and that's why the question concerns us.
And Adam's just sort of like, kind of like grasping, like just sort of like he's just trying to pull the words out of the air. It's just like, yeah, it's this should have, I thought this was all going to work out better, but it's not that important. Not that important.
It sounds like it maybe is, and I just want you to know whatever you have to say, however important or not it might be, we'll be listening, and it's okay to talk about it.
At which point Charlotte goes, "Why are you picking on him so much? Talk about it."
I don't want to pick on him, and if he doesn't want to talk about it, he can say, "I don't want to talk about it." But it feels like there's something important going on.
What do you think about that, Adam? Like,
so
down deep.
Down deep, I think Adam's like super conflicted. You know what? I'm gonna roll the powerful blow.
Well, actually, hold on to that, because just hold on to that for a second. I'm going to keep you conflicted for a little bit longer.
No.
Yeah, just a little bit longer. You can read that though. So it's not going to not happen.
It's not going to happen.
Okay, so I think, has everyone gotten their chair assignments now?
Yes, I have my assignment.
Everyone has their, I was going to say assignments.
Yes.
I was accusing Dave of at my screen.
Oh, it's not.
I was simply checking to make sure that you had noticed it.
It's not really a secret as much as just something that I've been giving you guys to kind of filter in very subconsciously into the conversation as you sit here. And the picture sort of seeming a little bit as you sit here to be less inappropriate, the background picture. Although kudos to whoever drew the coffee cup, because
all of that is me, because
I love it so much.
Instead of paying 100% attention to the conversation, I instead started putting lyrics and
song lyrics.
Cups.
I love it.
Hey, you gave us a new picture, and no one else was doing anything with it.
You are welcome. Okay, we have though one more. I just gotta dig this up here real quick, and I think the spearhead for. Oh, this doesn't look like it. I'm gonna be really annoyed if I lost this thing. Let me just dig here real quick. I don't see it. Oh, bugger me. I've had such a difficult time with. Yep, sure enough, I don't have the thing I needed. Margie, you were sort of the spearhead for the come and talk to Lucius thing. Is that correct? Is that relatively accurate? Okay, give me just a second here. I've got to retype this thing because I had a move for you, and I need to retype it because it kind of disappeared on me, and now my screen is locked up. Awesome. There we go. All right, I'm gonna just put it in chat because that seems like it's the easier thing at this point. So buttons.
Who wrote the pun on the chair?
Surprised.
Oh my God, arrow to the knee? Really?
That is.
I mean, my money's on Bill.
Amazing.
You win.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, because
I think we all win having read that pun.
I don't think God, what video game is that from? I don't think Dave would have been able to.
Skyrim.
Yeah, I don't think he would have made the Skyrim reach back. But when you
I think it works just fine without having
yeah, well the thing
played
the
Skyrim.
the bit with Skyrim is that there's an NPC. All the NPC fighters in the game, pretty much throughout the entire thing, constantly. They're one random NPC dialogue in the background kind of thing that's popping off all the time. As I used to be an adventurer until I took an arrow to the knee, and it's so repetitive that it became a thing. But that takes it up to another level. Oops.
You're very worried about what's appearing in the middle of the table.
Carefully watching.
Really?
You should know better than to give us this much time to doodle.
Sorry, I had
Great.
I swear I
Nice campus.
I
Campus
swear
here.
I had typed this out. Okay, there we go.
The table about 2 or 3 feet. We could call it another conversation pit.
All right. When you try to look up Lucius for advice or help, roll plus superior. On 10 plus, they're in a good place and happy to help. On a 7 and 9, they've got problems of their own to sort out and they ask you for help in dealing with it. On a miss, they're missing entirely or their business is about to become your business in a big way.
Okay, now.
That looks
So,
familiar.
yeah, it's there. Part of it is like of the original movie was like, can you locate them? I'm like, that's not really the issue. So let's file this off a little bit. But
Well, it's similar. It's similar to the looking up someone in the respect mechanism.
oh, is it?
For the Scion, yeah.
Oh, they
Well, and also
they cribbed it off of then the Masks Halcyon City thing has a move for when you look up a retired superhero or supervillain kind of thing, and they probably kind of cribbed it off.
it's not too dissimilar from My Unseen World, So when you try and contact ghosts, which would have been
So let's see how Lucius is
your
doing.
people in the alien side of things.
As the conversation grows more and more awkward and Adam's protestations that everything is just fine.
Superior?
Yep. It's a planning thing. It's a timing thing. It's a organization thing. I hemmed and hawed about what stat to roll for a really long time, but okay, that's awesome though. That is so awesome. Mark potential as things get horrifyingly complicated. Okay. So the best part about this is, although it's your role, it's really Lucius's problem. So it's really kind of just GM's fate dice rolling kind of thing. How is the world going? What did James say? Oh, I see.
It's kind of your to screw or not to screw. That is the question.
Well, it's like, yeah, how normal is everything? How normal is everything going? With Lucius.
For us to get out our coconuts and ride off into the sunset.
Okay. So, okay, I gotta look up a thing here real quick. So Adam,
I was thinking more of like, the minstrel, but that's okay.
the minstrels? Oh, yeah.
In that too.
My God, that's terrible. Okay. So,
Anyways,
yes?
you have to know every tabletop game eventually devolves into Monty Python quotes.
I
We've
mean,
been saving them up this entire time because you haven't given us anything night related.
It took a really long time, but well done. I mean, honestly, jumping right back into it. The problem is with the Monty Python is that I was ruined on Monty Python in my freshman year in college. Just absolutely, because I never really encountered any Monty Python during my high school years because I was out in the middle of the boondocks and it wasn't something that was in the, one place you could rent movies. My roommate in college found out about this terrible, terrible thing and went out one weekend or at the beginning of the weekend and rented literally every Monty Python tape that could be had at the local video store. And I mean all of them. Every single one. Which amounted to Monty Python, the Holy Grail, Life of Brian, Live at the Hollywood Bowl, that sort of thing. And also the Flying Circus, something like 14 tapes of the Flying Circus. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen the Flying Circus tapes, but they're not unique to one another. Like if you've seen about 3 of them, you've seen most of the bits. Not all of the bits, but you've seen most of the bits. And if you continue to watch them, you see the same bits again. Sometimes they're exactly the same bit. Sometimes it's just another time of them doing that same bit in a different context.
Hill shows.
And he made us watch every single one of them over the course of the weekend. And we watched Monty Python about 3 times and Life of Brian twice. Life of Brian I still kind of like. Probably because we only watched it the 2 times. But two things that I came away with was that, they were occasionally brilliant and they didn't know how to end a joke. Like they sort of criminally just sort of like ran, like they didn't know how to end the bit. So they just kind of wound off until finally some other sketch interrupted the previous sketch because they just didn't know how to wrap it up. And I really just deeply, profoundly, and nothing sums it up as well as the Monty Python or the Holy Grail thing with like, we don't know how to end this movie, so we're just going to have the cops show up. Like that sums up the alleged punchline of almost every single Monty Python thing that I've ever watched. So,
on the other hand, our doodling will probably continue until this changes.
Yes, that's fair. And in the meantime, so Adam, they kind of have you on a spot. What? And I know you were about to like take a powerful blow, but what was looming there in the back of your mind as like you're going, okay, I'm going to own this thing for a second, and there was still a voice in the back of your head saying, no, 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 no. What? I'm going to rather say who. One of your family members figures very prominently in this sort of Gestalt flash image that's closely tied to the I don't want to think about this thing. Who is it?
Ah, that part is simple. It is
That part is,
Jordan.
that is Jordan. Looking just what?
Just like it's that little kid disappointment where it's just like the big puppy dog eyes, and in the back of his head it's just like, no, if you give this up now, you're not gonna get it ever again.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're
yeah.
all right.
He's got the love and respect and appreciation of the little sister.
Okay, give me just one second. All right. So you're right on the precipice, right on the threshold of like fully acknowledging that and what it means and the context of what that means about you and what's going on right now. And the room gets really dark. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And whether it's you getting tunnel vision or anything like that, and you actually think it might just be, am I having a stroke? Am I panicking? Is this a panic attack? Is this what panic attack feels like? And you notice that other people at the table are also kind of reacting to it. So it's not just you. The room gets really dark, and it's maybe the sun went behind clouds outside, and the window, because there's windows in the back of this room that out into the space kind of behind the store. And it's very overshadowed and dark out there right now. And
Alicia's looking at Adam.
I was about to have you assess the situation, but you're absolutely assuming the wrong thing, so I don't think you get it. I don't think you get to assess the situation just yet because you're assuming absolutely the wrong thing. The shadow is not clouds outside or anything like that. You realize it's actually just a very large body obscuring the light that's coming into the back alley sort of and sort of actually kind of a parking spot back there, as something smashes through the back wall, like wrecking ball sized thing just comes. You hear like footsteps approaching, like pounding feet, and then you hear a grunt, and then this wrecking ball sized thing or transit van sized things comes crashing in through the back wall, and bricks flying everywhere, and dust, glass, the door comes smashing in.
Whew. Okay, that's what I'm betting. Like right after that, it's like one like quick look at Adam, being like very relieved. It's like, oh good, meeting adjourned.
Just like, oh thank God we're being attacked. Um,
So what is it, and is it actually inside, or is it outside having smashed in the wall?
it is outside having smashed in the wall. It is a massive fist about the size of the front half of a transit van. It appears to be clenched around someone, and it appears to be made up of a composite of arms.
You mean like from the from the cemetery?
Yes, very like. Although it doesn't seem to be coming after you guys necessarily. It's more like it came in accidentally, having attacked whoever's in its grasp.
Got it.
Charlotte, is this thing chasing you?
So,
I'm gonna light up and chase after it.
All right. It's not actually going anywhere initially, but yeah, Radiant. So, what is now? Have we gotten to see your little what your transformation looks like? Has anyone seen this directly up to this point?
Probably not, but we also did some costume changes to make people more comfortable. So
Let me see. Let me see. Give me a link.
I don't have art for it, but
okay.
basically,
Describe
like
it
the
for me.
link, the art that Mike did, no tiara, no tabard. The wings collapse into basically a cape instead. So it's a much more like traditional Supergirl type of thing without a miniskirt, but still like that sort of like flying brick look.
Okay.
Same colors and everything.
The same basic color, still kind of a golden blue, gold
Yeah.
and blue. I like it. Okay. Duly noted.
We don't have the budget for the actual transformation sequence, so she just flashes
Just a
into
flash
it.
of light and
Yeah.
but the panels of your body kind of flip. Is that accurate? Am I thinking that?
That was how she used to do it.
Oh, you
Now
said-
it's all holographic. She just
so,
projects
okay.
it. Yeah.
So it projects it. All right, cool. All right, so she goes kind of light stroby. Adam's like, "Is this thing chasing you?" Charlotte's like, "I don't think so." Is that what you said? You broke up a bit at the beginning.
yes, I don't think so.
Okay. Since Summer called first dibs, Summer, what do you do? I mean, you transform and then what?
Well, if this hand is pulling away, I'll chase after it. But if it's just here, it seems to be grabbing someone. I'll try to figure out who that is and then try to rescue them.
Okay, so the fist actually, like, it smashes into the wall and it tightens, and you hear somebody like, ah, and you can see like the top of his head like sticking out of the top of the clenching thing. It looks, well, I mean, have you seen Lucius? Do you know Lucius? An older black man with fairly short hair, possibly wearing some sort of, I mean, he's wearing like some sort of coat, but definitely in the grasp of this thing. Big guy, but much bigger fist wrapped around him.
It's someone who clearly did not deserve being grabbed by a giant fist made of arms.
No.
Is what I get. Yeah. If it was Rosa Rook, I'd be like, yeah.
Maybe.
Rosa, do you need rescuing? grunt twice if yes.
Grunt 15 times if no. Yeah. Okay. So what do you do? Is this you try to get them out, or what do you? What's the,
Yeah. So I'll try to free him and pull him away.
what's that look like? Blast of light, big punch.
Yeah. So she's got basically hard light holograms, which means she can project barriers and fields. She's going to try to effectively cut through the arm, one smaller arm at a time. She figures that if she breaks connection with like whatever is at the root of this thing, that the arms probably will pull away. She's on the strength of that theory, she'll try to effectively sever this hand and hopefully it'll let go.
When you say cut, are we talking like a light, like a blade of light, or a spray of razor butterflies?
Right now, just generic light. Like it's kind of ixnay on the butterflies.
Was somebody have some butterfly issues?
Well, not only that, but I don't know if you read that, but we have
Oh,
a
yeah.
metaphysical science experiment going on too. So this is really interesting stuff. But for now, yeah. Basically, like, as these arms are writhing, like, one arm will be blocked by one panel of light, another arm will try to take its place and be blocked. It's just like step by step, this
Okay.
whole thing will be kind of cut through.
I think I'm gonna have you roll. If your primary goal is to get the guy out, I think it's a defend. So I'm gonna have you roll savior.
Okay. I have a move that says if you defend your loved ones, but I'm guessing strangers don't count.
I don't think he counts. Yeah, I don't think he counts at this point.
Radiance loves everyone.
That's true, but cheesy for our purposes.
Yeah, somewhat. Mike, did you see my last direct message? Just I want to.
I did, and I have further questions.
Oh, by all means, ping them that way, or we can just have that conversation when we get to that point. Okay.
All right, that's a 5. My savior is terrible, and I'm insecure as well.
Which is fair. Oh yeah, it is -2 though. Off your a total of -2. Yikes. Okay, so you're seeing like sort of panels of light trying to block various arms, that kind of thing. I don't think that we have to act alone here. In fact,
Yeah, I
I
just put team into the pool.
Oh, that's right. You did put team in the pool. Well, let's first deal with that. We'll deal that in there, and we'll put in me, and we're gonna deal a little team over to the pool. That's that initial thing. I think we've got I think this is a powerful foe. So let's do that team move. Let's see if it goes better than last time. Who's leading? I feel like I don't know who's leading. Who gets to be the
Summer
leader?
acted first.
Summer acted first. That's fair.
We just had a whole meeting for this question.
Yeah, right? And
Yeah, and all of us avoided it.
yeah. Well, the last time you guys actually sort of officially picked, actually you guys didn't officially pick last. When you enter battle against a opposed team, add 2 teams to the pool. That'll be done. If the leader has influence, Summer, do you have influence over every teammate?
Everyone.
Yep. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another team. I almost want to have everybody like write this on a slip of paper. Summer, what's your purpose here?
Save the guy and beat the monster.
Save the cheerleader.
Save the guy and beat the monster.
Yep. Save the guy, beat the monster. Alicia, does that fall somewhat within parameters?
Unmute, dear.
Oh, sorry. Save the guy and beat the monster, or the other way around, whichever opportunity allows itself for. But
You beat
I
the
think
monster, save the guy by accident. Sure, yeah.
Well-
whatever. It's all good. It will have been heroic in effect. We dropped somebody? Might have dropped somebody. Oh, I bet. I
Yeah.
bet our lurker AFK'd. Yeah, she did.
yeah. No.
I just pushed.
there we go.
I pulled her back in. She's her homework has idled her out. I'm assuming. Oh, she's homeworking. She's homeworking her way through a book. Charlotte,
I'm agreeing.
you're agreeing? All right. Beat the monster, save the guy. And you do recognize Lucius, and so would Harry. Harry, what's your take on this? What to do?
Save the people.
Save the people? Save all the people? I might call that close enough. Adam,
Yeah, by defeating the monster, you're helping save other people.
Alicia, fight the monster, accidentally save the guy. Harry, save the guy, accidentally defeat the monster. It balances out. All comes out in the wash. Adam, what's your take on this? What's your
Oh, I was the first one to speak up.
Oh, you were the first one to speak up. All right, never mind. I think we got everybody then. All right, everyone has the same purpose in the fight. Add another team. So we're up 3. If any team member mistrusts the leader or the team, remove a team. Anyone want to speak up to mistrusting the leader or the team?
Suddenly, all eyes are on Alicia.
I'm certainly behind the leader, and we seem to be acting in concert as a team, so I'm good.
Yeah, I'll buy that. You did. You got all the private message though. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Just to double check. All right. If any team is no removing a team. If your team is ill prepared or off balance.
That's
No,
What were you
I mean,
saying,
we're
Adam?
I was gonna say, like, for once, we're actually all together when this starts. That like almost never happens for us. So this is
Yes.
probably as prepared as we get.
Well,
Yes, but it's
we-
not
we
like
were-
we didn't just have a semi-major revelation about one of our team members.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, we were all kind of sitting around the conference table drinking coffee and glaring at Adam. So this was, I think, a little bit of a surprise.
I think that's
You
fair.
were glaring. Everyone else was being nice.
Well,
I was projecting everyone else's glares.
I'm glaring on behalf of everyone else
You
who
and
doesn't.
Summer were tag teaming.
Yeah, good cop, armed cop. Lethally armed cop. I'm kind of going with it. I mean, when the most combat-prone person, sees the dimming of light outside, and rather than thinking
And it
obscured
looks in
vision,
the wrong direction.
yeah, and looks in the wrong direction, I'm saying I'm gonna call it and say a little bit off balance. So influence over teammate. So we have 2, another one for the influence. Everyone has the same person. We're up to 4. Nobody mistrusts anybody. We are ill prepared. Still 3 up, and that gets us to 6, which is more than we've had in the team pool for a bit. So now having done that, or about to do that, we have a fight.
Two team would save me, but you can also get a laugh out of seeing me eat it. So
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure. It would be quite. I mean, taking the 5 is fun, certainly, and she is the newest member, so a few whiffs and tough lessons in the combat arena, always kind of amusing. But if people are like, no, I would really like to be involved in saving Lucius from this thing, then by all means, what do you think? And I'm not entirely, just for the sake of respect for the tough old NPC. I'm not above having Lucius spend a team to kind of help himself, but
Well, Adam will definitely help out, like trying to burn through some of the arm, following Radiance's lead here.
okay.
Alicia will back Radiance's play, by basically coming up and administering an electrical whack with her batons to these tasty looking arms.
Tasty looking arms.
Yeah.
Is she currently carrying heat? I can't remember if she's like walking around with guns now. She's still, but
Yeah.
she just came from the school.
Eh,
So.
now that's yes.
Yes.
So we were there in civvies, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, the
Um,
batons, I feel like that's going to be around, but
Yeah.
Let's see. Were we there in civvies?
We came from the school.
Came from the school.
Unless we changed clothes on the way into the coffee shop.
yeah.
Or do you carry your stuff with you?
Well, I've got a gym bag.
Alicia's
that
always
probably
got.
has
School?
I don't leave my gym bag at school.
Yeah. Alicia, trying to get her to be completely,
She would have her baton. She would have her batons. She's probably got a pistol in her gym bag.
like a 4-shot holdout. It's like,
Yeah. I'll say that she doesn't have that on her, but she would have her batons.
yeah.
With the
Fits in the palm of your hand, weighs 4
Sure.
pounds. Shot gloves. Gotta have those around.
Oh God, I like Bill's idea here that Summer R2D2 shoots shot gloves and batons over to Alicia. Maybe not for this battle. But,
I love it. I love it.
no, you're gonna drag her to the warehouse later and be like, we're gonna do some installation work, and she's like, what?
Hold out your hands.
I'm going
Okay.
to. There's no way that's not an awkward. Where should I eject these from? Oh my God! How are you asking me this? Anyway. All right, but shock.
You do this that isn't rude.
Shock batons.
Alicia's got at least one good capacitance charge in her batons.
Sure. So blast, and that's what push it up to a 7. So no potential for Summer, but the joy of seeing teammates leap to your assistance, which is always good. And we're going to pull out a couple of team here, get rid of those guys, and looking up defend real quick. When you defend someone, on 7 to 9, it costs you. Expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. What do you think, Summer?
If they grab me and let him go, is that fair?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you're prying, and the primary source of light, really, the blast from Adam kind of comes past you, but you're definitely, Alicia's nimble. But yeah, just being a source of light to this particular kind of creature certainly makes you a target. So the thing reaches out and grasps for you, and as it does, as the hold somewhat loosens, Lucius gets an arm free, and there's a big the anime streak of light with the little shing, and sword comes out of freaking nowhere, and he kind of rolls. He rolls free. He looks he drops to the ground, drops down, rolls with it, comes up, but then also kind of staggers because bad hip. So the moves are there. The mind is ready. The body is willing, if not 100% able. Covered in brick dust, cuts on his forehead. And conveniently, the rest of his body isn't really hurt because he was in, he had the fist for armor. And some of these tendrils, very reminiscently the fingers of these things, so to speak, like the fist kind of opens and the fingers shoot out towards Summer, and it's sort of the back of the hand, but the whole thing sort of phases, it kind of like flips itself. So the fingers visually seem to kind of fold backwards against the direction that the knuckles should be going until the fist is actually sort of closing the other direction around Summer. But for a second, it looks like the whole thing is basically popping its joints to like reach around her from the other, reach her from that other direction. Reorient. And kind of grabs a hold of her and gives her a shake? No. Kind of almost like whips itself against the wall a little bit, like a terrier shaking a rat. Kind of just a little like a flick with the wrist to kind of smash in there, and but so Summer, take a condition, but I'm gonna let you pick. I'm not sure how this is gonna get you. What this is going to be like. So the arms, they're all like individually arms, but it's the big hand, but it's also the individual little fingers and the touch of this thing, which is absolutely the consistency and temperature of clay that's been left on the table for days. It's not.
There's not a condition for ew. So
yeah.
So I'm taking guilty because I thought I could pull this off and totally screwed the pooch.
Okay. All right. Charlotte, what do you do?
I'm gonna literally go to the heart of the matter and see what's inside this. And
what's inside this thing? So what does that look like? Are you like literally phasing into this thing? Are you reaching out with your senses or?
I think what it looks like is
Are you thinking, or did you cut out?
No. I was pondering. I think this is the probably the best thing here is to use the possession skill and just take my dirty chai, possess it, and throw it into him.
So
with
like
the idea,
like a creepy holy water, like a really wacky holy water kind of a thing.
Yeah. It allows me to do something impossible. So I'm thinking what I want to do is, both my idea is to expose it. So burn away the flailing arms and expose the center of it. The heart.
Interesting.
Arms. The question is, what's at the core?
That is.
Corbett, I don't think everybody's watched Doctor Who yet.
I haven't. I don't even really know what channel it aired. I don't get BBC America, so I've got to like figure out some other way to watch it. And my wife is gone for a week, so I didn't want to watch it without her.
So, just for clarity's sake, is this actually a disembodied fist
It's big enough
made
now.
of
Oh, it goes.
made of arms?
It's a fist made of arms, but it's also the arm made of arms, and it's going back outside of the.
So we're not in a position where we can see the entire
Thing. No.
creature made out of arms. That okay?
Yeah.
Just,
Or whether there even is an entire creature made out of arms or not.
right. Okay. Just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
how horrifying the situation
Well,
was.
you're in kind of,
Oh, nice.
you like that?
Yeah.
We've been working our way through. I think we talked about not showing my family Graveyard of the Fireflies, but we were working our way through a lot of Miyazaki films, and one of the last that I have immediately to hand was Princess Mononoke, which I approached with some trepidation, not least because of this scene and the fact that I have a 5-year-old. We watched it anyway. I wasn't around for the last hour of the viewing, which actually this scene is in. Apropos of nothing.
Cause?
Well, I had to go do some stuff. Kaylee had to go, and I had to take her, and I missed out. We caught up on it later, and my 13-year-old's watching it, like the last hour, like, oh God, this got dark. Holy crap. And I was like, yeah, you're not wrong, not wrong. I'm thinking about my kids the other two are already in bed. Apropos of nothing, this morning, my 5-year-old has come down and is like hanging out in our bed before we have to get moving. She goes, what was that movie with the little ghosties in it in the trees? And then and then like the demon pig and stuff. They named him something. They named him. They completely ignored what the name for him was in the show and just called them bombs or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, oh yeah, it was Princess Mononoke. That's what it was called. Sean, it was called Princess Mononoke, Daddy. That was the best show you've shown us so far. It was so awesome. Yeah. So yeah. She may be traumatized, but it's not going to come out for years. Anyway. All right. So.
5 years from now, when she watches again.
So,
I feel like that's with my father deciding that Castle in the Cloud from Les Mis was a good lullaby. Or Jurassic Park, that too.
Castle in the Clouds. Yeah, I mean there's a good lullabies.
yeah, if you just
beautiful song.
If you just stick with the melody.
You like that? Which do you think is better, that or Into the West, which was your other lullaby?
Okay, my kids go to sleep listening to the entire soundtrack of Hamilton, so I mean I can't talk. Possession. When you touch a mortal object and empower it, roll freak. On a hit, you can use the subject as a focus to do something impossible. All right. Roll freak, I guess. Let's find out. You're gonna empower this thing with something. Molotov chai. I like it.
Dear, I like that very much.
An 8. All right. So, which is
Finally.
it's solid. It works on 10 plus. It works exceptional. On a hit, you can use the subject as a focus to do something impossible. So you're driving. The idea is you're driving the ephemeral bits back enough that you can see what's behind.
I'm burning away the limbs to see at what's the heart. What is the center of this? I'd have to step outside to do that, might I?
No.
Do.
Maybe. think about this for a second. I'm gonna hold on to that for just a second while I ponder it. I'm stalling by going, Harry, what are you doing? Summer's been smashed against, like sort of whipped up against the wall. Charlotte is like stepping up and cradling her cup of coffee and like staring into it and lifting it up like it's some sort of offertory bowl. What are you doing? Alicia just rolled out of the way of Summer being smashed into the wall, and Adam is. Adam? Did you even stand up? Just blast him.
No, he stood up. He's like up. Like I imagine he's up there, kind of at the same sort of area where Radiance is.
Well, without having actually been grabbed by the fist.
Well, yeah.
What did Lucius do again?
Lucius, like, sort of, once he had an opening, kind of slashed
Like
it.
rolled and then
He rolled.
that tip.
Yeah, he rolled, and when he came up, he kind of like stumbled a little bit and kind of came to rest up against like a gorilla rack, you know, kind of a thing. So he's clear, but he's not, you know.
In fit fighting shape.
He's clear, but he's not out of danger. I mean, he's not currently.
No one who lives in Halcyon is out of danger.
He's not clear of whatever necessarily is going on, but it looks like he's readying himself at least to do something.
I want to do. Sorry, was Charlotte saying that she needed to like toss the dirty guy down its mouth,
or something.
or just on it?
I think it's more of
Into
a
it.
Just on it.
into the thing, whatever the thing happens to be.
I like the dirty holy water concept. It's Agent
I-
Orange.
I want to get its attention and be kind of on the opposite side of the thing from Lucius.
Okay. All right. I like that. So you're
defend.
what do you?
Presenting yourself as a distraction.
I think it's probably a defend. What when you say get its attention? What are you doing? Like a million punches or?
I was going to yell insults, but that works too.
grab.
At super speed, twist each of the fingers of each of the arms that are making up the giant fist.
Very painfully. I mean, you know,
Elderberry.
I was gonna say staying on theme. There really ought to be an elderberries insult somewhere in here. But it's a funny thing.
Your general direction.
I've only seen the movie like twice, but I've memorized most of it. It's kind of like
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it enough from gamers that I know. You know, it's the joke. You know, I've never seen Pulp Fiction, but I've been able to piece together the entire plot based on college posters, or posters on college walls.
Probably more coherently than the movie.
Well,
but
I'd say, yeah, it's intentionally incoherent though, so that makes it art, right? Anyway, okay, so yeah, go ahead and roll defend. I like that, not least because there's potential for you to pick up influence on Lucius. Oh, look at that, palpable hit. How is your superior or your savior only a 1 right now? Or do you have like a condition? You probably have a condition.
It's a 3.
Yeah, but you only added 1. Do you have a condition? Do you have hopeless or something? What is that?
I have insecure.
Insecure. There you go. That was you only added
But that
1.
wouldn't take it down to a 1.
Yeah, it would. The
2.
It's a -2.
Yeah, the conditions are -2.
Never mind.
Okay.
I can't do math, despite what the textbook in front of me says.
How did your calculus test go?
Let's not talk about that. It's during the game, Mom.
Really? Pull my finger? Really? That's.
What?
It's appropriate.
Hang on. Okay. Okay. So quickly look at. Of course, it's appropriate. The puns aren't funny.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
All right. So when you defend someone or something from an immediate threat, savior. It costs you exposure, but you add a team to the pool. Take influence over someone you protect, or clear condition. So yeah, the option is that you can clear the condition. You could take influence over Lucius. I'm gonna well, I mean, the options that you kind of distracted. You were saying distracted from Lucius. I mean, I guess the other option there would be to try to get Summer out of this whole mess, but your focus, I think it was pretty clear where you were going with that. So the option there, pick up influence on Lucius, clear condition, or add team to the pool. What do you think?
I'll go for influence
Okay.
over
All right.
Lucius.
So write
So
that
I'm
down.
no longer that weird kid who he did the knighting ceremony on but didn't respond.
It wasn't exactly a knighting ceremony. It was more of a test of metal. Although
It's more of a good knighting ceremony.
Oh.
I
I apologize, but I had to take it.
No, it's fair. Summer, you kind of tumbled the ground. So Harry's doing that. Thing kind of stays over on that side. Charlotte steps forward and kind of flings the chai, and it doesn't exactly dissolve everything. Cosette, no. Yeah, Cosette. Kaylee was having a mental block on Who Sings Castle in the Cloud.
Small child.
Small child. And actually, I feel like I could grab another Princess Mononoke animation here for the whole exposure thing, but I'm not gonna. It's a lot of digging. As much as I might enjoy looking at a bunch of animated squigglies.
So you're going to say it out loud, so someone else here looks for it for you.
No, I don't. It's finding the right. Actually, I know what I'm thinking of is the thing where you can see the boar. Like it's all just the mass of tentacles early on, and then they all kind of pour off the boar for a little bit. The thing at the beginning. We were watching at the beginning, and the thing comes out of they were watching. It's like, oh, he's ready. Oh, he gets to ride an elk, and they like climb up the tower, and they're like, what's he looking at? And then the thing came out, of the thing, and my son goes, and that's a demon. Okay, it's that kind of show. Just like, I wasn't sure what we were gonna get here. Now I know, and that's a demon. Anyway, yeah. So Charlotte kind of steps forward, kind of like flings the cup, and where it lands, the arms kind of like just. Actually, I'm gonna ask Charlotte. Does it melt this stuff, or does it all kind of like almost scramble, wriggle, writhe back away from the point of contact? Like sort of a parting of the sea kind of thing, or is it more of a melting, like what a world,
Drawing into the center, because the whole point is to be able to see what's at the center of it.
Right. Well, the melting either one of those would get you there, because either they draw back away from this contact and they sort of like and expose that center core, or they're melting back. And sort of dissolve somewhat into their composite clay-like substance. Please note.
I thought was sort of more of a deconstruction as opposed to flailing in pain.
Yeah. So that's why I'm asking: do the individual arms stay more intact and writhe in pain, kind of a thing, or do they actually kind of like turn into kind of a muck and mud kind of stuff?
Oh, they sort of, if they're muck and mud, maybe they crumble instead of dissolve.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking of the muck and mud because of just the mixture with the liquid kind of a thing. Going with that clay.
They melt or flake or smoke or
in
some fashion leave the body as a whole. And where there's sufficient of it, it'll take the whole limb off with it.
Okay. And your purpose of this is to see what the heck is behind this thing. Yeah.
Core.
Yeah.
As I said in the beginning, Charlotte gets to the heart of the matter.
So, Alicia, you've seen ugly wounds in your lifetime. You've caused ugly wounds in your lifetime, perfectly honest. One of which involved a rifle shot that actually sort of took a guy in the arm while he was pointing in the direction of the sniper. So the bullet kind of went down the length of the arm and kind of opened up a rather nasty furrow until it hit the elbow, and everything got profoundly messy at that point. And it reminds you of that because the arm, what passes for the arm, it reminds because it peels back like a bullet's tearing through it. And some of it's the cringing, some of it is the stuff kind of breaking apart where it hits on the ground and is breaking up. The bits that break up like profoundly stain the walls and floor and the asphalt outside, because this goes back. And although enough of it breaks down that you can see that there isn't a full body there, it goes back to what you would think of as about the biceps. And which makes it more of some kind of snakish worm thing. And that actually is what it looks like more, because it loses its coherence as like a limb and a hand and just sort of becomes a tentacular thing. Somewhat hive mind kind of thing that currently does not have the coherence to keep a symbolic shape of like a hand or an arm or anything like that. Summer, you kind of like I said, sort of tumble free from this thing, and like the arm, thinking of the bone of the thing is exposed. Except it's not like a forearm, upper arm, joint, any kind of thing. There is a literal skeleton inside the central mass of this thing at about the forearm, where the forearm would kind of be, just barely inside the building. There's an quite old skeleton. Well, at a glance, looks old skeleton. Down within this thing. Was Margie not hearing me? I hear you. I hear.
On mute again.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
When you say there is a skeleton inside, is there a skeleton that would be analogous to an arm, or there's like a skeleton of a creature in the midst of this arm formed around it?
There is a human-sized human skeleton laying in the space, laying inside this thing, or floating inside this thing.
A full human skeleton takes up the space of the arm.
A third of the forearm to scale. Like from the underside of your watch band until almost to your elbow.
So this thing is a giant undead Voltron made out of arms.
Yes, with one skeleton inside. Except it's not, I mean, like I said, it's not the full body, because this whole construct kind of ends at just a bit above where the elbow would be, kind of. It may have been something bigger at some point, or part of something bigger at some point. Right now, you've just got arm with the skeleton.
Why do I just keep thinking of the cartoon about the wall of heads?
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds Sounds
No,
awful.
The Charlotte cartoon, the Charlotte comic strip.
Oh, right.
The wall of heads.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
The Adventures of Manny the Skeleton and his friends.
Adventures.
Yes, exactly.
I love that the skulls that never leave the wall have adventures. That's good stuff. Yeah, God, that's funny. Okay. So, and I'm kind of getting this information. I mean, you're using the power, but I'm bringing this information to you. Kind of come at you sideways because I'm giving it to Alicia because I won't. It's sort of summarized in a glance. The thing that you notice, Alicia, immediately before this, because the stuff is only exposed for maybe 2 or 3 seconds before the thing sort of starts to reform itself and cover the thing back up and protect. Well, you think protect it. It's a human skeleton, but it has the wrong number of ribs. Also, it's quite old. And you weren't around in the team at the time that this was identified as a thing, but you know, and we're not going to get into why you know that the people over in the Sepiaverse have one extra set of ribs, like all the time. It's a genetic fluke here, but over there it's the norm. And that there is a Sepiaverse descended skeleton. And old.
You?
Do I have a?
You would have gotten that in a glance. I'm just giving you
Okay.
that because that would have been what you got when you saw it's like, I mean, Charlotte, you see skeleton, you see old skeleton, you see probably animating will within, whether it's part, I mean, you don't think there's a ghost in there, but there's some sort of like power bound to it kind of thing, but you didn't catch the details. You just saw skeleton. Harry, you saw, let me see. Harry, you would have seen like bones. Adam, you saw like Charlotte melted a chunk of the arm and there was a flash of white. Summer, you were kind of getting down you were being dropped out of the thing, so I don't know you would necessarily see much of anything, but
It's full of arms.
it's full of arms.
Do I have an opportunity before it like folds back up again to like drop a grenade onto the skeleton?
Yes.
Preferably like as it folds up over on top of it.
Of course.
Yes. What's your gadget thing do? I'm just thinking about the.
Okay, yeah, this would probably be that gadget thing, unless we assume that I kind of carry around a grenade because
I mean,
one never can tell.
algebra can be
maybe-
rough, but I don't know that grenades are called for.
Um,
My daughter's listening. Grenades are not called for.
Grenades are
I-
definitely
no,
Doyce,
be always
in
prepared.
calculus.
Hey, Doyce, I also want to point out Lucius is former SAS. He may have grenades laying around.
I don't know that
Not
they.
where the kids could find them.
I was gonna say he may have them.
Alicia shouts to him, "Grenade!"
Like
And hold
I'm
my
saying,
hand
like
to catch it.
he may be carrying them for this.
Exactly.
That would be so awesome that I kind of want to just do that. Alicia, do I think it's gonna be
Direct engage.
directly engage. That's what I was gonna say. Sorry.
Ha! Because since it's directly engaged, my "they don't deserve forgiveness" comes into play. Ha!
Okay, that's perfect. Actually, so as the thing is peeling back and the arms are peeling back and everything like that, and you're like seeing this thing, Lucius shouts "grenade." Your first instinct is to think that someone's throwing one, and you just your eyes slide sideways, and he's kind of
He's he's tossing one to me.
he's underhanding one over to you.
Catch it, flip the pin out with my thumb, throw it inside as the arms are folding back up over it,
Yes.
and,
Oh God, you thought I made a mess in this room.
and throw myself backwards.
Okay.
Okay, so this would be a
Directly engage.
danger roll,
Danger roll.
and
Which just went up because of that other thing.
yeah,
For some reason, I imagine Lucius afterwards being like, "Miss, you did that far too well."
Oh my God, Dave got a full hit. This may be the first time on this character. No, I'm kidding. All right. When you directly engage a threat, roll danger. On a hit, trade blows. On 10 plus, though, pick 2.
And actually, because I have the they don't deserve forgiveness, I get to choose an additional one, so I get to pick 3.
Really? Oh my
When I directly engage someone with no influence over me, I can always choose one additional option, even on a miss.
Well, Charlotte has influence over you. I mean, kidding. Kidding. This is all so yeah.
Love you too.
I mean, everyone's like, oh, Pen.
You were supposed to say, but your father still has influence.
I have headcanon about what pandemonium really is, and nobody else seems to like my headcanon, so I can't keep going that route. But anyway, I can have my own little fan fiction about my own game. Anyway, so resistor. I'm assuming resist or avoid the blows is in there somewhere.
That will be one of the things.
All right.
I will hopefully take something from them. Can I take their bodily integrity from them?
I mean, yes. Yeah. You can. That makes things difficult going forward, but yeah.
Well,
You can impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition, or create an opportunity for your allies. What do you think?
I will create an opportunity for my allies because I'm a good team player.
Okay. So because I
Don't
just
blow it,
realized
guys.
we started an hour late, so it's actually quite a bit later than my internal clock says it should be, based on how long the games usually run. So here's what we're going to do. So we resist or avoid miking up on the breath. Resist or avoid their blows. Check. Take something from them. What'd you say? Physical integrity?
Their bodily integrity.
Their bodily
yes.
integrity, yes. So the bones of the thing are shattered, and that that provided a central foci for the will or driving force of the thing, and that being not destroyed but scattered breaks the thing down. So the arms, and I use the term very loosely now because they're really sort of, we're going back to the whole Princess Mononoke worm things. They break down in sort of arm-sized, like individual, slithery, slimy, like leeches, lampreys, that kind of a thing. And they're all like skittering and slithering away and melting into cracks in the wall, or if they're outside, like into gutters and so on and so forth. But, and this is the opportunity created, and we're going to leave this hanging for the next session. The opportunity created here is, Charlotte, your power in the form of dirty chai is still upon them. It's still connected to them in the sense that it's still on some of the substance of the things. You're going to be able to trace them. The opportunity is there for you to connect in some way, shape, or form, or follow or find them. Your like I say, your power is still on them, and that opportunity is the opportunity created is not that you're connected to them. The opportunity created is that they're going to go limping back to some place that will, and you have the opportunity to follow them. Cool?
Cool.
That'll be a door open for you coming up next session. And that'll be that's where, so Alicia scattered them, but you're still lurking. And Lucius is
Just to confirm, this has the same feel as what was in the graveyard, or is this different?
yes, still has the same. We're gonna have to kind of catch up with Lucius a bit, but and actually he'll say something to, as the thing are scattering, and you guys are kind of like if anybody makes any move towards like, don't let them get away. He's like, no, let them get away right now. We need to talk. This is, and I apologize for what I'm about to say, getting out of hand.
Oh.
He
Mark
doesn't.
it a third condition.
We all take a powerful blow.
Everyone take a powerful blow. No, he does not say it.
Everybody, Lucius has influence over. Yeah, that's gets to.
No, this is the thing that you need to understand. When Lucius says "pardon the pun," he actually means it. Like he apologizes for wording a thing in such a way as though it seems as though it's some sort of wordplay, as though I'm being frivolous. You'll know when I'm being frivolous. So when he apologizes, he's actually like not about to deliver a dad joke with a bit of a smirk. He really is sorry that the best way for him to say it is the lowest form of humor.
Delivering a dad joke with a bit of a smirk has been essentially my entire college social life.
I mean,
That's
Socialization.
my boy.
to be fair, you're using the weapons that your family armed you with. I don't know what else you could do, but use the weapons that you were armed with. And
Lineal trait.
your dad shipped you off with literally crates and crates and crates of ammunition, as far as that goes.
By the way, I want to say that Getting Out of Hand is the episode title.
Okay. I'll take that. I will take that. All right, so we have some lingering things. I would like to wrap up, though, by just kind of, because I don't want, game secrets are kind of annoying, and I kind of want to share a little bit what people had sitting around the table. So, Summer, what did you get from your seat at the table?
You sit at the seat of Gaheris. If any teammate involves you in a celebratory or vulnerability move, in addition to anything else, take influence over them. Give them advice on one topic. They take what +1 forward if they follow your advice, and if they do, mark potential.
So that's Summer. Charlotte, what was yours?
So mine is. I gotta scroll back up to it.
Yeah.
I put mine on my sheet for convenience.
Yeah,
So that-
and I mentioned this partly because I feel like this is, in some cases, certainly Summers and a couple other people's, it's the kind of thing where if you guys can see it, move toward it. Know that there's some stuff with Summer that is helped by sharing a vulnerability move or whatever with her. Anyway, Charlotte, what were you gonna do? What was your thing?
So chaste, take +1 forward on your next pierce the mask. None may lie to those who lie not to themselves.
So, and she broke up there at the beginning. Charlotte, you sit at the seat of Bors the Chaste, was the whole line there. We didn't catch you until the word chaste, which would be somewhat confusing. Harry, what was yours?
You sit at the seat of Sir Galahad. Take +1 forward on your next attempt to reject someone's influence.
There you go. And Adams was. Oh, I'm gonna do Alicia last because she wasn't the last one to get the message, but I like that one. So Adam.
Yeah. You sit at the seat of K. No power exists without truth. Next time you burn, mark potential, and take a powerful blow as the truth confronts you.
So that's just sitting there as a nice ticking time bomb. The next time he burns, he gets PTSD flashbacks from whatever he did. And finally, Alicia.
You sit at the seat of Lancelot. Mark 1 potential. Adam loses influence over you. Shift danger up and mundane down.
And honestly, I went back and forth on that a half dozen times going, is this Lancelot or is this Arthur? Is this Lancelot? Is this Arthur? No. Arguing with everybody. It's not Arthur. It's Lancelot.
It's the outsider come to court.
It's the outsider come to court. Of course. It's Lancelot.
And ultimately responsible for its destruction. No, I didn't say that.
I was trying. I was reading out these, and she's like, "Why danger up?" I'm like, "Cause Lancelot, man. It's like, outsider argues with Arthur, and you know, depending on which story you read, pretty much kills just about everybody else in the around the round table at some point in time, depending on which story you're reading.
Arthur's Queen
Kills a lot of dudes that previously, but that wasn't what we were trying. That was what we were going for. The
Alicia and Jason some more.
The original way I wrote it was the leader loses influence over you, but you guys couldn't decide what the leader was, so I just had to pick a person. All right, hang on for a second. So Kate has asked my question. What? Alicia.
Of course.
She's like, who's the bad guy? Who got the chair of the guy who kills everybody? I'm Alicia. She's like, oh, of course. Anyway, all right. So going around the table real quick. Alicia, closer to team, further away from the team, more into your own image of yourself. I like the confrontational kind of bringing the thing to Adam. By the way, guys, well done. I like that. Was good stuff.
I missed what name you said.
I said Alicia. Sorry, Alicia.
Okay.
Closer to team.
That's what I figured since no one else was speaking.
Yeah.
I'm going to say closer to the team, and I'm going to have to give it to Summer because she kind of dragged me into the conversation that I wanted to have but didn't want to have.
Yeah, too awkward to. Awkward. Weirdly awkward. Yeah.
And she already has influence over me, so.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course. Adam, just so you know, I did adjust your character sheet so that you don't have Alicia listed with influence right now. Since with the Lancelot thing. Summer.
I'm going to say closer to Adam because it seems like there's something going on and he's not shutting me out. So I feel welcomed by that.
Okay.
Wow, this is going to be awkward in a minute then.
Oh. That's awesome. Harry, what do you think?
I would say closer to Summer, since she was being supportive despite me being very slippery in an answer.
Yeah, you're really
evasive. That's what
evasive.
The word is.
No. College is doing wonders for your vocabulary. What no? Or the lack of sleep. One of those two things. All right.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah. Charlotte. You may be muted.
It was that towards me.
I can't tell. No, I asked Charlotte if, or maybe I broke up and she didn't hear me.
Yeah, you cut off at the end.
Broke up. You didn't hear anybody.
So weird. Okay, Charlotte. Closer, further away. Image of yourself.
Closer to the team. Alicia.
Closer to the team, Alicia. Alicia, if you have influence.
I do have influence.
Unleash your influence. And remember, guys, if you are giving influence to somebody else, pick up potential, clear condition. Is just those are the two options. Yeah, either pick up potential or clear condition.
Clear condition.
Not that this is going to apply
Yep.
apparently to Adam. Adam, closer, further away.
Further away from the team. Summer.
Summer. Why Summer and not Alicia?
She's
I'm
the one who
curious.
brought everything up.
Oh. She was broaching the subject, even if Alicia was then.
Yeah, it was a back and forth on that one. I was just like,
Do I go after the good cop or the armed cop? Good cop or the armed cop?
and then I realized it's like, Adam didn't expect anything better out of Alicia, so.
Summer, you're supposed to be the nice one. Why are you? That's kind of awesome. I like that. That's pretty good. All right. So, yeah, Summer loses influence. All right. So, yeah, sorry for the late start, guys. My apologies on that. Crazy week. Kind of somehow managed, even though I knew this was coming for months and months and months, sort of still managed to creep up and surprise me with all the stuff going on at the last minute. And it takes so long to duct tape the kids into the bed every night. It's exhausting.
Yep.
Anyway.
Single parenting to kind of do away with the routine and make everything take 10 times as long.
I mean, to be fair, I have an awesome assistant for some of the stuff. Kaylee jumped in there and, came right off of swim practice and immediately, well, after having supper, then immediately got her little sister all in the pajamas, brushed her teeth, read her 4 books. 4 books before, I think, honestly, I feel like Zoe almost cried off and said, like, all right, I'm good, I'm going to bed. 4 is a pretty good number for her. Anyway, so, and then immediately socked in for the homework for the last week before the break with a bunch of essay stuff and maths and all the in this. So she was
Little
awesome.
suspects.
She was awesome. Meanwhile, I just had to deal with all the other living creatures who had to be seen to and that sort of thing. The dogs are a bit of a handful right now because we can't just let them out in the backyard because there's no access to the backyard. Still, and probably won't be for another week or two. So they're especially a bit of a handful. Anyway, all right.
As long as the lizards aren't getting out.
Were you guys here at the time? So yeah, the one that got,
Yeah.
the one that just decided to get it. Yeah, no, the lizards aren't getting out.
Walkabout.
They're not loving this temperature drop because it does generally lower the temperature in the house a bit. So their torpor in the evenings is really pretty profound. They pancake out on the bottom of the enclosures and just kind of soak up as much rock heat as they can.
Kenichi got her biannual haircut this last week, so she's been the lap kitty of snuggleness.
I am cold now.